Hey everybody. So we have some big news to talk about, but first I just want to say if you are not yet a subscriber to this channel, please hit that subscribe button. If you like hockey or the NHL at all, then this channel has something for you, whether you follow a certain team or if you follow the whole league. Um, there's videos here for you, so please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And now, let's get to yesterday's big news. Erik Karlsson is going to be playing for... He's still in Ottawa. Senator, no, the big news is not Erik Karlsson getting traded. We're all still on Karlsson watch, and we have no idea when that's actually going to get done. But there was a big signing yesterday by the Tampa Bay Lightning, a team rumored in on Karlsson. Nikita Kucherov signs a 8-year deal with a $9.5 million annual value with Tampa Bay yesterday. This goes into effect after next season, so he's still on his current deal for this upcoming season, and then this kicks in after this next season, much like Ryan McDonough's. And so Kucherov staying in Tampa, and $9.5 million. That's a lot of money, but I think if anyone is worth that, it's Nikita Kucherov. I've been saying pretty much since this channel started that I think Nikita Kucherov is the second best pure goal scorer in the NHL, with Alex Ovechkin being number one. And I think with Ovechkin getting older and Kucherov really just coming into his prime, I think we're not very far off from Kucherov becoming the best goal scorer in the NHL. He's got an absolute rocket of a shot. He's extremely skilled, very good skater. And he's not just a goal scorer. He racks up a lot of assists as well. Kucherov can be a 100-point guy every year. I absolutely believe that he has that in him as he comes into his prime here. So, another huge signing for Tampa Bay. And that's got me thinking about Tampa Bay's cap situation, because they have a lot of players locked up long-term at very high cap hits. Honestly, as Tampa Bay continues to make move after move after move, I wonder how they have any cap space left. So I actually looked at it. I went to Cap Friendly and looked at all their cap situation, and Tampa Bay has $76.8 million. I'm rounding a little bit. I didn't go all the numbers all the way across, but they have about $76.8 million locked in spent for next season, leaving them $2.6 million in cap space. So they're very close to the cap. They do not have a lot of room to work with here. However, they do have a full roster as of now. They have 23 players signed they have a lot more than 23 signed, but they have 23 at the NHL level that can play in the NHL. So they do have a full roster. They don't need to add anybody, make any more moves if they don't want to. So they have 2.6 million in space, but they are the second closest team to the cap right now. So they don't have a lot of space. So they seem good for next season, but what about Erik Karlsson? Erik Karlsson is Tampa's rumored to be one of the three favorites to get him. So how the heck is Tampa Bay going to get Erik Karlsson and sign him long term with all this money already spent? Well, it's going to be difficult, but it's not impossible. Karlsson wants $11 million a year like Drew Doughty just got. So they're going to have to sign him to a 7-year, $77 million deal. That's what he wants. Karlsson is not staying in Ottawa, even if he is forced to play there this coming season because they don't make a move, which I really don't think is going to happen. It's going to happen. He's going to get moved eventually. But he will not re-sign in Ottawa. Karlsson is going somewhere. Whether he gets traded this season, which would be the smart move for everyone involved, or if he leaves as a free agent next summer. But Tampa right now is rumored to be one of the top teams in contention to get him, as through trade. Now, how the hell are they going to do that with $2.6 million in cap space, and then sign him for $11 million a year? Well, they already have a lot of money locked up long term. Stamkos is staying there; he's locked up for years at $8.5 million. Kucherov just signed this deal for 8 years and at $9.5 million per season. Hedman's locked up. Victor Hedman is locked up at a pretty cheap deal for a defenseman of his caliber at $7.875 per season long term. Ryan McDonough just signed a 7-year extension at almost $7 million per year, 6.75, and JT Miller signed a long-term extension at $5.25 million per year. So this is their core. This is who they're keeping for, years to come. I don't envision them moving any of these guys to clear up cap space. So when you look at these numbers, these are all pretty high, and just doing some quick math here, I mean, you're looking at a lot of money spent through for years to come, not just next season, not just the year after, but long term, year after year after year. You have a lot of money tied up already just in these 5 players. Add Karlsson's $11 million a year to this, and you've got a large chunk of your cap space taken up just by a few players. So if Tampa Bay wants to get Erik Karlsson, they're going to have to move players out now. I don't envision it being any of these guys. These guys are signed long term. This is their core. This is who they're going with. If they're going to move somebody, Ryan Callahan is at the top of that list. He is making $5.8 million for the next 2 seasons to be a 4th liner, basically. He's extremely overpaid at this point, and he will be absolutely someone, going somewhere if they do get Karlsson. They're going to have to move someone else besides Callahan, though, as well. Because obviously just moving 5.8 isn't going to be enough to sign someone at $11 million per year. So without any of these guys moving, it's going to have to be Andre Palat, Tyler Johnson, or Alex Killorn. I would assume that one of those 3 would go with Callahan. You combine their salaries, you're looking at $10 to $11 million being moved out, and then that extra money can be used to sign Karlsson long term at $11 million per year. So Tampa Bay absolutely can trade for Karlsson and absolutely can re-sign him for $11 million per year long term. If they want to lock up that much money between 6 players, these 5, and then add Karlsson to the list at $11 million per, you're looking at, 11, almost 10. There's almost 21. There's almost 30 right there. You're looking at almost. There's another. You're looking at like $40 to $45 million in cap space locked up long term between 6 players. That's going to be, I mean, you better hope that those 6 players are all worth it. I mean, your top 3 defense would be incredible, obviously, with Hedman, McDonough, and Karlsson, but that's a lot of money to lock up in only a few guys. And don't forget, Andrei Vasilevsky is only making $3.5 million per year for the next 2 years. 2 years from now, when his contract is up, if he keeps playing on the level that he is now and keeps on the trajectory that his career is at this time, Andrei Vasilevsky is going to be a top 10, if not top 5 goaltender in the NHL. He is going to want big money to be in, deservingly so. If he's an elite goaltender, he's going to be looking at $7-8 million per year. Could you possibly add him to this and then have $50 million per year locked up long term between, at that point, 7 players? That's a big risk to take, and that's a lot of money on a very few guys. But if those players are worth it and perform at the level that they can, then you fill in around them with veterans on cheap contracts and draft picks on ELCs. So it is possible, even with this deal, for Tampa Bay to get Erik Karlsson and sign him long term. But it's going to be very difficult, and I worry about their depth and supporting cast if they do that, because they are not going to have very much cap space left outside of their core players, these five, Karlsson, and then eventually Vasilevsky, if they keep them. So it's tough waters right now for Steve Yzerman and Tampa Bay's management team. Now, I absolutely trust that they can do. I mean, they've put a winning team on the ice pretty much every year since Yzerman's taken over. They've built this team extremely well. They know what they're doing. I trust that they know what they're doing. But there is a salary cap, and even if it continues to go up year after year after year like it has been, they're still pushing it very close to that cap, and they're playing with a lot of money and investing a lot of money in a few core players. If it works out, we're looking at Tampa Bay winning, maybe even 3 or 4 Stanley Cups. If it doesn't, we're looking at a huge, huge disappointment and a lot of people getting fired. You've got to think that with this group, they need to win at least one. But I'd be looking for multiple Stanley Cups, especially if they land Karlsson. That would be the only way that it wouldn't be a disappointment, is if they won multiple Stanley Cups. But they can do it. I just worry about their depth and their supporting cast if they do, because they're going to have to sign a lot of guys on very cheap deals. They just don't have the cap space to be going out and landing other big free agents. They financially won't be able to do it with the salary cap. So that's what I think. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think Tampa Bay still gets Karlsson? Do you think Kucherov's worth $9.5 million a year? I do, because I think he can easily be a 50-goal scorer and a 100-point guy. But let me know what you guys think. And thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. Check out offthewallhockey.com. All those links are in the description below. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you again for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.